You do not ask. We are live taking your calls. Do we have Professor Kotlakov's audio or not? Okay. So, folks, we're going to do an open line edition of the broadcast. So if you have questions, ask me anything. Call me right now at 800-321-0710. 800-321-0710. We're talking about stocks, bonds, annuities, whatever questions you have. Markets are rallying. Is it a bear market rally, or is it something beyond that? So we're talking about direct transfers, direct rollovers, and the 60-day rollover. Also, the wealthy now have more time to avoid estate taxes thanks to a change in IRS laws. And so you think you know a lot about IRAs. We'll talk about that. And more Americans plan to tap Social Security retirement benefits early amid economic uncertainty, the new survey finds. When moving retirement money from IRA to IRA or from a workplace retirement plan like a 401k to an IRA, there are essentially three methods to relocate your dollars. Two of them are similar, and the third opens all kinds of potential problems. Knowing how to properly move retirement dollars is imperative to produce the desired outcome. Now, be sure you understand these methods before you do anything and seek a competent financial advisor to help you. This is from IRAhelp.com. So, number one, you could do what's called a direct custodial transfer. This is the number one way to move money from one IRA to another. A direct transfer, also called a trustee to trustee transfer, the funds go directly from one IRA custodian to another. Note that if a check is made payable to the new custodian, FBO, or for the benefit of the account owner, but received by the new IRA owner, that will still qualify as a direct transfer. So make sure, it's not a rollover check to you. John, for example, our mythic example today, has an IRA with custodian X. He wants to consolidate his accounts with custodian Z. John requests a direct transfer of his IRA from custodian X to custodian Z. John is a bit of a control freak and wants to make sure the transfer is completed. So he asks for the transfer check to be mailed to him. Custodian X issues a check made payable to custodian Z, FBO John IRA. This qualifies as a direct transfer, and John hand delivers the check to the custodian. So you never want the check written out to your name. Direct transfers are not reportable to the IRS. As such, no 1099-R is created for the transaction. So we're going to go to the phone lines at 800-321-0710, 800-321-0710. If you have a question, now is the time to chime in. Additionally, if you as the IRA owner are subject to RMDs, the entire account, including RMDs, can be transferred. There's no need to take an RMD prior to the transfer, like in a rollover, although it must still be taken by the normal deadline. So you can do transfers, direct rollovers, and then there's the 60-day rollover. Those are the three basic ways to get your money out of an IRA. Option 2 is a direct rollover when retirement dollars move from a work plan like a 401k to an IRA. The best option is the direct rollover. A direct transfer is not available with a plan to IRA transaction. A direct rollover is similar to a transfer, but with a couple of differences. First, a direct rollover is reportable to the IRS and does issue a 1099-R form. When the direct rollover is received by the IRA custodian, the custodian will produce a 5498 confirming the rollover and eliminating any possible taxes due. In addition, if the plan participant is subject to RMDs, the RMDs must be taken before the funds are rolled over. 60-day rollover. When an IRA owner or plan participant takes a distribution that is paid directly, you have 60 days to redeposit those dollars into the same or similar account. So we're talking about direct rollovers. There's also something called a 20% mandatory withholding if plan dollars are paid directly to a plan participant. Note that there is no mandatory withholding on IRA to IRA transactions. We're going to try to see if we can go to Professor Kotlikoff. Are you there? I guess he's not. So maybe we can have him on in the future. Okay. 60-day rollover. When an IRA owner or plan participant takes a distribution that is paid directly to him, he has 60 days to redeposit all or part of those dollars into the same or similar account. Funds can move from a 401k plan to an IRA, or an IRA via a 60-day rollover. However, this type of transaction opens numerous, guys, please mute that. We can't hear that on the radio. Opens numerous opportunities for error. If the funds are not timely rolled over, they will be taxable and subject to potential penalty. Such distributions from a plan require 20% withholding, and any RMDs included in the distribution cannot be redeposited. Also, a person is only permitted one IRA to IRA 60-day rollover per 365-day period. Note that non-spouse beneficiaries cannot do a 60-day rollover per 365-day period. So there's a lot of rules here. Basically, if you need rollover help, call us, 800-321-0710. You get to ask me any financial question you have, or call us 888-988-JOSH. So next up, we're taking your questions on all matters financial at 800-321-0710, or you can call us with your questions if you need personal help at 888-988-5674. If your family has significant wealth, it's now easier to avoid federal estate taxes thanks to recent changes from the IRS. IRS improved a strategy known as portability used by high net worth married couples expecting to owe federal taxes when the second spouse dies. You may believe the first spouse's wealth is below the threshold, but if the IRS questions evaluation later, it may block the second spouse from taking full advantage of portability. That will be a very bad result produced by not seeking professional advice. So we're going to take a short break, and when we do, we'll return with your calls at 800-321-0710. This is Josh Chilinsky, the financial quarterback. Don't touch that dial.
Tune in to the financial quarterback Josh Chilinsky this weekend and learn how to protect your financial future in a down economy. Josh and his team at the Chilinsky Advisory Group can help you lower your taxes and lower your risk in these uncertain times with a 27-point checklist designed to improve your financial health. Whether you're worried about runaway prices, fear of an upcoming recession, or a stock market meltdown, tune in to the Financial Quarterback and count on Josh Chilinsky to call the play. For a free copy of Josh's book, The Retirement Reality Check, call 888-988-5674. That's 888-988-5674. Or visit Chilinsky.org. That's JALINSKI.org.
Tune in to the Financial Quarterback, Josh Chilinsky of the Chilinsky Advisory Group this weekend and learn how to protect your financial future during these turbulent times. Looking to lower your taxes or need help securing your financial future? Then Josh and his team are the people for you. They're experts in financial economics with one mission in mind, to protect you and your investments. From their 27-point checklist to their one-of-a-kind financial quarterback approach, they help you achieve financial health and guide you through the hard times of high inflation, looming recessions, and stock market meltdown. For financial security, call them now, 888-988-5674, and get your free copy of Josh's book, The Retirement Reality Check.
Okay, next up, we're taking your calls at 800-321-0710. We're talking about estate portability. This from CNBC's article, The Wealthy Now Have More Time to Avoid Estate Taxes. Here's how it works. While a spouse may inherit all of their partner's assets tax-free, estate taxes may be owed after the surviving spouse passes, depending on total value. So in 2022, there's a $12.06 million exemption per person for gifts and estate taxes, meaning you won't owe any federal levies for giving away $12 million or less to your kids or other non-spouse beneficiaries. So we get a lot of people say, can I give $1 million? Yes, without any gift taxes. You just have to file a gift tax form. You may owe up to 40% estate tax on anything above that. But the surviving spouse may elect what's called portability, allowing them to have their partner's unused exemption along with their own. That means that you could gift 24+ million before estate taxes kick in. Previously, surviving spouses had 2 years from their partner's death to elect portability, but the latest IRS change extends the deadline to 5 years. The special 5-year election window is only available if the first deceased spouse didn't require a tax return, according to the IRS. Electing portability just got easier, but it's also a no-brainer. Another change, if you're within the 5-year window, you'll no longer need to request guidance from the IRS, known as the private letter ruling. You can elect portability within the 5-year period by filing an estate return. That's simply incredible. An estate tax return may cost anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 or more, depending on the complexity of the return and what state you live in. But when you compare that to saving 40% on every $1 million of the portability exemption, it's pretty compelling. So we're taking your calls now, folks. 800-321-0710. 800-321-0710. If you have questions on stocks, bonds, annuities, mutual funds, whatever question you have, no question is a dumb one except the one that you do not ask. What's more, the current $12 million exemption will adjust for inflation through 2025. The exemption drops by roughly 1/2 in 2026, when provisions sunset from the Republicans' 2017 tax legislation. Estimates say the exemption will drop between 6.5 and 7 million. I do not believe that will be the case, because probably DeSantis will be president. So that's my take, but we shall see. Skipping an estate return could yield a very bad result. When a loved one dies, if you do not file a Form 1040 for a final tax return, it could spell problems. Along with Form 1041, on any income earned by the estate in the year of death, some families also file Form 706 for estate taxes. However, if your estate and lifetime gifts are below $12.06 million, you're not required to file a federal estate tax return. But experts say it can still be beneficial for certain high net worth families and others. It may be risky for wealthy families to skip an estate tax return, especially with harder to value assets like farmland and certain types of businesses. The Investment Company Institute is an association representing mutual fund companies and similar investment companies. Recently, the ICI issued the results of a survey on traditional and Roth IRAs. So how well do you know IRAs or Roth IRAs? This from IRAhelp.com. And we are going to go to the phone lines at 800-321-0710. If you have a question, call us 800-321-0710. At the year-end 2021, what percentage of all U.S. retirement accounts were held in IRAs? What percentage of retirement accounts were held in IRAs? That's the question. At the end of the year, what percentage of all retirement accounts were held in IRAs? That's the financial quarterback question of the day. We're going to do a bunch of them. Second question, at the year end 2021, what were the total assets held in IRAs, including traditionals, Roths, SEPs, and Simples? So we're going to go to the phone lines, and we have Al. Go ahead, Al. You're on.
Hey, Josh. Good morning. How you doing today?
Great.
Hey, listen, question. I'm 70. Plan to retire at 72. On my 401k, could I actually transfer that now and then continue my 401k, starting it up again in, let's say, January of with my company?
Well, you can do what's called an in-service rollover if your company allows it. A lot of people do it. That way they can control a portion of their money. So let's say you have $800,000 in a 403B or 401k. You can roll over $150,000. Now, why would you do that? Now, some companies allow you to roll over the whole thing. Most do after 59 and a half. Some do not. But I would roll it over to an IRA so I could have freedom of control. You can invest in protected accounts. You can invest in more growth-oriented accounts. You can have freedom of control. So, yeah, definitely. And then you contribute to your 401k for the match. Now, rollover isn't right for anybody. You want to check fees, expenses, all those things. But sure, it may be advisable. Any other questions on that?
Yeah, on Social Security. So I'll be 72 in December of 2024. So how far in advance do I have to contact Social Security so that I can start getting my checks on time?
How old are you?
70.
Oh, yeah, you should contact them now. You don't wait till 72 for Social Security. Wait till 70.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I meant this December. I was thinking about the IRA before. No.
Yeah.
So I could contact them now and set it up for December? That's what I was questioning.
I'm not sure exactly, but try. Sometimes it's like
Okay.
a few months before. Just go to ssa.gov, tell them you want to apply December of 2022, or typically you go, I don't know, 60 days before, 30 days before. But you could try now to be real prepared so you don't forget, you know.
Yeah, I had to deal with them for Medicare. I had an issue with them. Took forever, so I know.
Yeah, you got to be careful. So definitely, you never know, right? You know.
Right.
I've
Never.
heard they make so many mistakes over the years that you just got to be careful and you got to do the right thing. And that's why we can help you, okay? Make sure you don't go it alone in retirement planning. So make sure.
Well, that was the other question I had. So on retirement planning. So today I have a $1.5 million in total, IRA and 401k. So I have a third of that is in annuities already.
Okay.
And then the other 2/3 is in pretty much self-managed between mutual funds, and about half of that is in self-directed individual stocks, equities.
Okay.
So how do I move that to benefit me? I mean, it's obviously I'd like to take advantage of the growth in the market. I think I'm going to live another 20 years. But how do I'm also going to need some income out of that. So what is the best method to move that $1 million into an income producing stream?
Well, for income, you have a lot of ideas. You could take that whole million. Is it $1 million or $1.5 million?
Well, the $1.5 million is the total. 500,000 in a annuity.
How much income does that kick off?
About $22,000 a year.
When you retire or now?
A couple more years.
Okay,
I'm not going to start it for a couple more years.
So $1 million on a 70-year-old annuity right now would kick off about, I don't know, 50 to 60 grand a year because interest rates are high. So that's one option you could do an annuity. Make sure you pick a low-fee annuity, either a fixed or a fixed indexed, where there is a death benefit to your heirs and low internal fees if possible. Or you could look at dividend-paying stocks or dividend-paying ETFs. And if your dividend yield is, let's say, 4%, $1 million at 4% would kick off about $40,000 a year. That plus the 22 would equal about, $62,000. So
Right.
you could invest for income off of high-quality stocks. And to be fair, to get a really like a higher quality stock, like a Coke or something, their dividend yield is about like 2.9% right now, and I'm not recommending you buy Coke or sell it based on what you hear. But on $1 million, that's only about 29 grand of income. So 29 plus 22, so not as much as if you probably did an annuity, but maybe you want some money in the market, some money in an annuity. So
yes,
you could do dividends off of stocks. You could do income riders on annuities. You could look at bond income. I mean, treasuries right now are paying like 3%.
Yeah, I bought some I bonds. I'm paying, 9%.
Yeah, the problem with the I bond, I mean, it's great right now, but it's like 10 grand's all you can put in. So
yeah, that's the problem.
I mean, people are like, oh, I'm going to be saved by the I bond, and then they look. My Uncle Joe told me to do an I bond, so they do an I bond. They realize it's only 10 grand. Now, hey, it's our financial lives are. It's a death by 1,000 cuts with inflation, so it has to be growth by 1,000 cuts as well. So, hey, if you or your spouse can do an I bond, by all means do it. That's $20,000 a year. Treasuries are paying about 3%. Fixed annuity rates are like 4-ish% right now if you do a 5 to 7 year product. You could also look at income rider annuities, and you get like a 5 to 6% yield right now, depending on your age. So there are a lot of options for you. If you're an income-oriented investor, even though the market's down, Now's a really good time to look at income, whether it's dividends or annuities. Does that make sense?
Because I'll get some growth out of the stocks, you mean, in addition to the dividend?
Well,
Is that your reasoning?
rates are higher, so fixed products like bonds and fixed annuities are paying better yields right now. That's what I mean.
Okay.
So I hope that helps you, Al. Go ahead.
Does. I thank you very much, Josh. Appreciate your help.
And Al, call us 888-988-JOSH. If you or any of our listeners, we are right now live on iHeartRadio. We're taking your calls on All Matters Financial at 800-321-0710. We're live on YouTube. Also, Spotify is where you can find our podcasts, iHeartRadio, and podcasts, Apple or Google, Android. Just look for The Financial Quarterback. We're taking your calls live on All Matters Financial at 800-321-0710. And if you want the 7 ways to save taxes guide, call us today. Schedule your no-obligation review, 888-988-JOSH. I just had a couple spots open up this week on Wednesday. Rare spots, just 3 spots left this week. Call me now, 888-988-JOSH. We could see you in our lovely headquarters of Toms River, New Jersey, or via Zoom or wherever you are, 888-988-JOSH. We'll be back after these messages.
Maybe it seems like prices can't get much higher, or that the stock market is headed for bear territory, or maybe you're worried about another great recession. Josh Jelinski, the financial quarterback, can help you protect your family's financial future in times like these. Tune in this weekend to the Financial Quarterback to hear how Josh and his team can help you decrease your tax liability and lower your risk. Call 888-988-5674 to take advantage of Josh's 27-point plan to achieve financial health. And when you call, you'll receive a free copy of Josh's book, Retirement Reality Check. Tune in every weekend to the Financial Quarterback and call 888-988-5674 to receive your free copy of Retirement Reality Check.
Okay, we're back taking your questions live on Clubhouse. And Darren's up next. We got Darren. We got Jack. Jack, I will throw open the Financial Quarterback question of the day, where we will be giving away a prize to the winner of the question. I don't know. I used to give away prizes. I'm not giving away any prizes today. We're giving away the prize of pride, that you're smarter than everybody else. So, Jack, at the year end 2021, what percentage of all U.S. retirement accounts were held in IRAs? Was it 25%? Was it 35%? 45% or 55%? What is the answer? Do you know?
Hey, Josh, I hope you and yours, God bless you all, in the best of health, and your tall screeners deserve raises. See what you can do. This is G.I. Jersey, Jack back in Hackensack. I have 2 quick questions.
Well, wait,
First
you didn't
of all,
answer
Josh,
my question.
As a disabled American veteran on very fixed income, 841 SSI.
Hey. Do you listen? Are you there? I was asking
yes,
you
I'm
a
here.
question.
Can you hear me?
I was asking, Jack back in Hackensack. I need your GI Jack. I need your question. I need my question answered first before I answer your question. At year end 2021, what percentage of all U.S. retirement accounts were held in IRAs? You get to guess. You get 4 guesses. 1 guess. 4 options. 25%. 35%, 45%, and 55%. What is the answer?
I say D.
D, 55%. Sorry, thanks for playing. Thank you for your service to America. Now, go to your questions.
2 quick questions. One, Josh, as a disabled American veteran on $841 SSI, physical disability, I want to know, I heard this will be an 11.5%.
Well, how do you live? Or number one, how do you live on $841 a month?
The dog and I have had to camp out on the woods at times.
Oh, man.
because shelters are dangerous. They killed a former teacher and cut his head off in a New York City shelter around Hanukkah, Christmas time.
Oh, man.
And here's the deal. The deal is that I pay, as a responsible adult, I pay all my bills, and I'm left with $4 for the next 4 weeks. But here's a question, two questions. One, the 11.5%, the largest increment, cost of living increment in federal Social Security Administration history since 1935. FDR created it, God rest his soul. Will that be all Social Security, regular SSA, and Social Security Disability, and Social Security SSD and SSI also? Because I need that extra $2,000 a month.
It should be, but we'll see. But I mean, is your question, can you double up on Social Security disability? No, Social Security disability converts to regular Social Security at a certain age, like 65, I believe.
So I know that, but I'm under that. I'm just under that age, and I wanted to know.
Your COLA will apply. You will get the COLA.
Okay. Also, I wanted to make a ask question. I spoke to you a few years ago. It was the year before Corona. God help us.
Yes, I remember
it was about the Brooks Brothers. Brooks Brothers being bought out by another company.
I remember that.
And I asked you I remember that. And it was a Saturday morning, of course. And I asked if they would continue to make defined quality natural fibers in America. And you said you hope so. Now, I was in Manhattan the other day, and there was a double-decker tour bus, and all on the side of it was an advertisement of Brooks Brothers. And this was a new bus. So are they still in business, I hope, as Brooks Brothers? And they still make, because I like to know, I can't find out. And I think we should all support that company since it's an American quality company.
I don't know if it's an American quality company anymore. It's very different. Private equity bought it. It's been different ever since. The vultures of private equity have bought it. Let's find out who owns Brooks Brothers. Do we know? We have three people in the studio. You got to be a little quicker. Who owns Brooks Brothers? I don't know. We'll see. But I'm, as a longtime Brooks Brothers fan, I'm not in love with it. So I think they're based out of Authentic Brands Group, along with the Spark Group. I don't know where their headquarters is in Broadway. Somebody are they a U.S. company now? I don't even know. But I'm not in love with them anymore.
Well, Josh, it's better than the garments that are made in communist China.
It's like Alan Edmonds. Alan Edmonds used to be a U.S. company. Then private equity bought it. So, no, they probably make them now they probably make the clothes in China. Okay, I have a Brooks Brothers
Cambodia, and I won't be a part of that.
I have a Brooks Brothers outfit. Where's it made? Okay, Milano, Italy. The fabric is in Egypt. Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody makes the fabric in the USA. I think they're U.S. companies and they outsource it to Turkey or Egypt or wherever. Well, Jersey Jack back in Hackensack, we salute you for your service. And by the way, if you want to meet me, I'll be in Hackensack later this month, 888-988-JOSH. Anything else, Jack?
Basically, Jack, God bless you and yours, and keep up the good work. And let's never forget that America, the best country in the world, and the other democracies, Italy, Israel, they would be nothing without the grace of God and brave men and women who served in our military, American Allied Coalition, and NATO troops. Let's not forget that 64% of the homeless men and women, and there shouldn't be any homeless in the richest country in the world, America, that 64% of those men and women are American veterans, God help them, and that each and every year 13,000 American veterans commit suicide, God forgive them, one every hour. There'll be two more dead by the time your show is over. You know, I do what I can, even from a wheelchair. My dog pulls me. He's an American Marine, too. We go to food banks in New York and New Jersey and bring truckloads of food back for homeless American veterans in encampments and shut-ins in apartments. And we feed people from
Jack, for your service. You're a true American. Brooks Brothers, I looked at this, made in America since 1818, and they've closed 3 of their factories. They had factories in Massachusetts, New York, and North Carolina. Now, if you realized, I would have wanted to lead a group of investors to buy it out, but I wasn't told about this. This is what happens. These companies get loaded up with debt, and then problems occur. Okay, next up we got Darren. What will taxes be when he takes his money from his 403B? That kind of rhymes. What will taxes be when you take money from your 403B? Go ahead, Darren.
Yeah, I'm just like over the years, I've always done I have a 403B at work, and I've always done half post-tax, half pre-tax, and I'm always moving money from one, money market maybe to a total stock market fund. I'm always moving money around. I just don't know, at the end of the day, how they figure out how much money is in the post-tax versus the pre-tax, and how do I tell them when it comes time and I want to use this money? Do I tell them, take it out of the post-tax so I don't have to pay taxes on? You know what I'm getting at?
Oh, it's funny. I just checked. So repeat that question. I didn't really understand it. You were losing me.
My 403B at work, I can do I have an option. I can do the Roth, which so the money is after taxes, or I can do a traditional where it's pre-taxes. So it's the Roth 403B versus the regular, the traditional, I guess.
So you can do the Roth. The beauty of the Roth 403B is you don't get a deduction, but the money grows tax-free, and you can pull it out tax-free. The traditional 403B, you get a write-off. So if you put in $20,000 and you make $100,000 a year, you show income of 80, not 100. So that's the benefit of the pre-tax 403B. Also, we help. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I've been doing this for years and years, and I don't know how well. Can I say where I put the money in?
No, I don't like to mention companies over there.
I won't say the company, but I never see when I get my statement, it never really breaks it out. You got 500,000 in the Roth versus 500,000 in the other, the tax account.
Well,
so
we
I don't
can
know,
call them. Call my office, 888-988-JOSH,
right,
and request a 403B review. If you have a 401k, 403B, 457, or TSP, some of you, your greatest place of growth is your workplace retirement savings plan. And you barely look at it. You don't know your investment options. So maybe you do, but we could call on a three-way line with your provider to make sure you know the breakdown, okay? And we ask for the fees, the expenses, the history of the funds, and then we can work to build a portfolio together for you, okay?
Okay. Yeah, because it just seems like it gets confusing when you have these mixed accounts.
Yeah, you have different buckets, so maybe there's a better way. So call us at 888-988-JOSH. I'd love to help you for free. If you or any of our listeners want help, call us now, 888-988-JOSH. Any other questions on that?
That's it. Thank you. I'll give you a call.
We will be back in about, 1 or 2 short minutes after these messages with Adrian. There's a question on everybody's mind. Where to invest $15,000 right now? This is Josh Jelinski, the financial quarterback. Don't touch that dial.
Tune in to the financial quarterback, Josh Jelinski of the Jelinski Advisory Group this weekend and learn how to protect your financial future during these turbulent times. Looking to lower your taxes or need help securing your financial future? Then Josh and his team are the people for you. They're experts in financial economics with one mission in mind, to protect you and your investments. From their 27-point checklist to their one-of-a-kind financial quarterback approach, they help you achieve financial health and guide you through the hard times of high inflation, looming recessions, and stock market meltdown. For financial security, call them now, 888-988-5674, and get your free copy of Josh's book, The Retirement Reality Check.
Tune in to the financial quarterback Josh Jelinski this weekend and learn how to protect your financial future in a down economy. Josh and his team at the Jelinski Advisory Group can help you lower your taxes and lower your risk in these uncertain times with a 27-point checklist designed to improve your financial health. Whether you're worried about runaway prices, fear of an upcoming recession, or a stock market meltdown, tune in to the Financial Quarterback and count on Josh Jelinski to call the play. For a free copy of Josh's book, The Retirement Reality Check, call 888-988-5674. That's 888-988-5674. Or visit Jelinski.org. That's JALINSKI.org.
Okay, we're back. This is Josh Jelinski, the Financial Quarterback. Next, we have Adrian. Go ahead, Adrian.
Yeah, hi. I was just wondering, I have $15,000 in a savings account, and I want something that maybe 2 years I want a down payment for a house, so I'm saving for it. I know the interest on a regular savings account is not very high. So I was thinking about maybe a treasury bill, maybe roll it up every 3 months, a couple of them, just so I want that money to kind of be liquid. I mean, in 2 years, maybe I will buy something. I have 401ks, I have Roths, I have other investments for retirement, and I don't want to touch any of that. So I was just wondering if that was a smart idea to put it into, let's say, a 3-month treasury bill and then keep reinvesting it until
So when
I'm
do you
ready.
need this money?
I'm not sure. I want to say 2 years.
I mean, you could do a 2-year treasury, and they're paying about 3% right now. It's not bad.
Okay.
I mean, you could do a 2-year annuity. You can do an 18-month CD. You could do a 12-month CD and roll it. So you need this for buying a house. You don't want to invest this, basically.
Right, and I want to keep adding more money to this account so that I would have a down payment. That's kind of what my plan is. I mean, I'm still investing in retirement money.
Yeah, you don't really want to invest for risk right now, for sure.
Right.
If
I am
this
close
is
to retirement.
If the purpose of this is non-retirement and to purchase a house or a down payment on a home, yeah, I like the idea. So, yeah, do that.
Do you think the treasury bill is good?
Yeah, it's fine. What else are you going to do with the money? You don't want to risk it. You can do an 18-month CD. You could do a 2-year CD. Just make sure if you do CDs, you know the provisions if you cancel early.
Yeah, because it could be a year. I don't know. Like it's, I'm in limbo kind of as far as I can retire in March, but I'm not going to.
I mean, you could do a 1-year CD then,
Yeah. Or a treasury bill.
Or a treasury note or whatever,
Okay.
Whatever your time horizon is, you can do 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year. Some CDs also have a year and you can cash it out. You can do 2-year annuities, 3-year annuities. They pay pretty strong right now with no fee, or you could do a treasury note or bill.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So
thank you.
You have a lot of options, and we'd be happy to help you at 888-988-JOSH with the what to do with my money in these uncertain times review. Call me now, 888-988-JOSH. Josh, we have just 3 spots left. We're taking your calls on all matters financial. We have some comments in the chat box. Do we have any comments on the YouTube? We have comments from the chat box in Clubhouse. The question of the day that I'm throwing open to you is, at the end of 2021, what percentage of retirement accounts were held in IRAs? 25%, 35%, or 45%? Also, one of the callers said they have a REIT question. Somebody had a REIT question. Is Matt able to talk? Let's talk about the future of commercial real estate investments. Go ahead.
Hey, Josh, can you hear me okay?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. Hey, just with the unstoppable work from home trend and a lot of impact to commercial real estate, people not returning back to offices, not across the board, but certainly in the luxury category of where you can work from home. Doesn't apply to everybody. What's your outlook for that? And you kind of think about, it's a different circumstance, but as you think about the Big Short and residential, you think about kind of the liabilities of long-term leases that corporations have. What is the future for those subcategories in commercial real estate where they're going to have to convert or they're going to have to change their business model? Or
Well, I think just that they will change their business model to be more like a Regis or an IWG or one of those. So they'll do these quasi. I personally think work from home will end up being like a failed experiment. It'll work for some companies, not work for others. I think they'll realize that productivity will decrease. And I think a lot of companies will say, hey, you got to come back to work, number one. So I don't think the work from home trend, although it will definitely dampen commercial real estate, I don't think commercial real estate is doomed forever. Actually, there's probably good value right now in commercial real estate because people always need to work and people are getting, sick of the work from home, but I like it. I'm pretty productive with it, but I think long-term business is always very demanding. So I think that may trend. So I don't think commercial real estate's dead. I think you'll have these hybrid workplaces like a Regis where instead of a company leasing 10,000 square feet, they might lease 2,500 square feet at a higher price per square foot. Or people will rent rooms. That's what I think about the commercial real estate sector. Folks, if you have a call us 800-321-0710. Thank you for the call. Next up, we have Pat. I think the current caller is talking about how his taxes will be treated, the pre-tax and after-tax contributions, and what you should take out first. I didn't really get that from the caller, but obviously, if you're in a lower tax bracket, take it out of the pre-tax contributions first. If you're in a higher tax bracket, take it out of the after-tax or tax-free contributions first. It's a pretty simple answer on that one. So, folks, give us a call, 800-321-0710. We'll be back after the final message from the break. We're on for another hour and 7-ish minutes taking your questions on all matters financial. So if you're on Clubhouse or YouTube, type your question in the chat box. We will go to you shortly. And the financial quarterback question of the day is, at the end of 2021, what percentage of all retirement accounts were held in the IRA? Just the simple IRA. You're putting 5, 6, 7 grand a year in. 25%, 35%, or 45%. We'll go to audience questions later in a few minutes. 888-988-JOSH. We'll be back after these messages.
Maybe it seems like prices can't get much higher, or that the stock market is headed for bear territory, or maybe you're worried about another great recession. Josh Jelinski, the financial quarterback, can help you protect your family's financial future in times like these. Tune in this weekend to the Financial Quarterback to hear how Josh and his team can help you decrease your tax liability and lower your risk. Call 888-988-5674 to take advantage of Josh's 27-point plan to achieve financial health. And when you call, you'll receive a free copy of Josh's book, Retirement Reality Check. Tune in every weekend to the Financial Quarterback and call 888-988-5674 to receive your free copy of Retirement Reality Check.
So share the room on Clubhouse right now. Type your questions in the chat box. And if you hear me type in yes on YouTube or Clubhouse, we're going to go to your questions at 800-321-0710. Yeah, what is the future of work? Is it work from home? Is it business casual? I think it may be for a short time, but I think people will get tired of it, because of productivity or whatever. We'll see. Could be wrong. Certain telecom companies have been doing work from home for a while, but I always thought it odd when I would see my father-in-law worked from home for, I don't know, 20-something years that I knew him, so it's interesting. It may be here to stay. I think it's going to be more of a hybrid situation, so we shall see. Give us a call, folks, 888-988-JOSH. At the year end of 2021, what percentage of U.S. retirement accounts were held in IRAs? Do you know? The answer is B, 35%. So thank you for playing. Next question of the day is, at the year end of 2021, what were the total assets held in all IRAs? 13.9 billion, A, B, 50.9 billion, C, 13.9 trillion, or D, 50.9 trillion. What are the total assets held in IRAs? So there's a lot there. And then true or false, at the end of 2018, only 20% of IRA owners held Roth IRA accounts. So we're going to play a little financial trivia for you. At year end, is this statement true or false? Only 20% of IRA owners were Roth IRA owners. So we're going to go to the phone lines at 800-321-0710. If you have a call, if you have a question, we will get to you on Clubhouse. A lot of you are making maybe the biggest mistake of your life. You are claiming Social Security early. Now, let's say you are struggling financially, or you just you haven't saved a lot for retirement. The best thing is for the higher earning spouse, let's say you're 62, to delay till 70. Now, if you have another spouse who has less income and you just want that extra spending money, you can have them take it at 62. Why do you let the higher earners' spouse's Social Security grow? Because that's what they get if you die and they lose their benefit. So claiming Social Security benefits early can be a grave mistake, and it can mean locking in a lower benefit for the rest of your life. Yet a recent survey of U.S. adults 26 and up by Nationwide Retirement Institute found that claiming early is exactly what many people are planning to do. According to CNBC, survey found that 42% of respondents plan on filing for Social Security benefits early while continuing to work, up from 36% who said the same in 2021. That's a big mistake. Among boomers who are not currently receiving Social Security, 26% said they plan to file for benefits early while continuing to work. So, folks, give us a call, 888-988-JOSH, 888-988-JOSH. If you don't know when the right time is to take Social Security, if you want our free Social Security claiming strategies software where we will print out your own, not somebody else's, not carte blanche info, but your own, in a beautifully arrayed guide, a blueprint, if you will, protection, savings, and growth, and Social Security. Call us today, and you get the 7 Ways to Save Taxes guide, 888-988-JOSH, 888-988-JOSH, 888-988-567, 888-988-JOSH, 888-988-5674.
WOR and WAXQ HD2 New York, an iHeart radio station. Available everywhere on our free iHeart Radio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts.
There's no one more connected on the radio. That's why he's Mr. New York. Mark Simone, weekdays 10 to noon on the Voice of New